Hello guys and welcome to this update, and now we have officially Tropical Storm Agatha out in the Eastern Pacific right now, and this is threatening to make landfall in Mexico as a pretty decent hurricane. Right now I think the peak for this system is 105 miles per hour, and that is right before landfall. So people in the coast of Mexico need to get ready for wind, flooding rains, storm surge, and everything else that comes with a Category 2 hurricane. At least that's what NHC is predicting right now, is a Category 2 hurricane. So here we are with the particulars here. This is located at 13.8 north, 98.1 west. Movement is about north-northwest at 5 miles per hour. Minimal central pressure is at 998 millibars, and maximum sustained winds are at 60 miles per hour. So this is strengthening gradually as we go out through the day today. And here you can see where the swath of tropical storm force winds have gone through at this current point in time. And this the system has been moving slow and erratically, so there's not much to really show there. And here is another look at things. This, they say it's moving north northwest, but this seems to me like it's moving more north and north northwest. Not that it really matters too much. And you can see where the watches and warnings are here. Hurricane warnings are in red, hurricane watches pinks, and tropical storm warnings are in the blue here. So you got all these watches and warnings along the coast here that you need to pay attention to. All right, so here is the cone from the National Hurricane Center, and you can see that the next nod here, it's gonna be a hurricane. So it could get there at 11 p.m. tonight, or it could get there at 2 a.m. It depends on the current convective burst that's going on right now, if that helps it a little bit. So you can see that it's gonna make landfall here in Mexico as a hurricane as we head out through the next 48 hours. It's not going to be long. It's not going to be long. That's even less than 48 hours. It's 5 p.m. now. So this is 44 hours until landfall here. And as you can see, it starts to rapidly weaken as it heads inland. And it would be interesting. This is going to be big for a maybe a crossover event. And you can see that it's still a tropical cyclone this far up north after going through such rugged terrain. There could be a chance that this low-level center survives the whole trip. It's unlikely, but there's a chance that something like that could happen. And if the low-level center don't survive and the middle-level center gets out there, it has the chance of forming something in the Bay of Campeche, and that's something we'll go over tomorrow if all goes according to plan, and I'm able to do a video. All right, so with that being said, here we are. We're taking a look at Tropical Storm Agatha here. As you can see, we got banding here going. This is some very deep convection here going on with this band here. You can see that there is some convection that is going inland here, so the action is probably already starting a little bit here on the coastline. You're probably getting some rain showers, probably getting a little bit of wind, but the main action is right here around 14 north, and you can see that big convective burst here. Like I said, this convective burst is going to matter a lot here when it comes to the 8 p.m., 11 p.m., and the 2 a.m. advisories on whether this becomes a hurricane or not. Right now it's looking decent with that convective burst. It's shooting up, and it looks like it's pulling the low level center with it. So it might be starting to vertically align itself again, because I do think a little bit of shear got in there and tilted it just a small little bit. So we're gonna have to see how this all evolves as we head out through the evening. All right, so here is the 12Z GFS here, and this is this is valid for 18Z, which is already passed. So we're looking at 998 millibars, and let's take a look at the sounding here. We're looking at 6 knots of shear and 93% relative humidity, which is really good. The environment is really good here at this point. So now we're going to go to 24 hours. We're looking at a 985 millibar system here. Now, see, the shear has started to shoot up a little bit. We're looking at 19 knots of shear, which is iffy at best. But the relative humidity is still there, about 90%. So now we're going to go to 48 hours, and now we're here at a 962 millibar system. I don't think we can do that here. Yep, we can't do that here. And then as you see, as it approaches landfall, it starts to rapidly weaken until it gets into Mexico, and then it just meanders around with the CAG, so to speak, because we're supposed to be getting another CAG here momentarily as we head out through the next week or so. So now what we're going to do here, we're going to be looking at some total accumulations here, and these rainfall totals are looking pretty massive right now. We're looking at anywhere from 12 to 20 inches of rain here in some of these locations. And with you guys' mountainous terrain, that's not going to be a very good look. There's going to be some massive flash flooding going on. There's going to be, there's going to be a washout, so to speak, here by the looks of it, if the GFS gets its way. So, if you guys really, really have to get out and drive in this, there's one really good piece of advice I want you guys to heed, and that is turn around and don't drown. If you see water on the roadways, just turn around. Go back home. It's not worth it. So, with that being said, let's take a look at the 200 millibar winds here. And as you can see, it pretty much, has a ULAC on top of it right now at the least, but you can see that the wind shear does look to pick up a little bit as we head closer to landfall. And I think that's, not only Atlanta direction, but it looks like, shear may have, helped weaken it pretty nicely too. It may be on some shear. Yeah. I mean, there's a small little slither there, but I think there's definitely shear going on here as we head out through, towards landfall. All right, so now we're going to take a look at the Ecmwf, or European. This was initialized also at 12Z here. And you can see that we're starting out at 1,005 millibars, which, we're looking at 6 knots of shear and 83% relative humidity. So where all systems go here for the European. And here is 24 hours out, 999 millibars, and apparently we cannot take a sounding there. I don't know why that's so finicky there. Like once you get to like land and stuff, it does not really work. I'm looking at 2 knots of shear and 86% relative humidity, which is pretty decent. And then here's 48 hours, 991, and then it makes landfall at 57 hours. But the rate that it's picking up right now, in we're looking at landfall here in about 40 hours to 44 hours instead of that. So what the European wants for landfall here is 994 millibars, and then after that it pretty much goes kaput, and then tries to reform here in the Bay of Campeche. So once more, this tropical storm Agatha is very important. Obviously, not for the toll that it's about to put on Mexico here, but for possibly a future Atlantic system as well. So, we're going to have to see how this all pans out over the next 5 or so days as we head up closer to the point of impact here for Mexico. And if I can get back to Eastern Pacific, that would be nice. So, we're going to take a look at the total precipitations here. And European is, it's pretty much showing the same thing as the GFS, but it's mainly just confined it to the coast here of Mexico. So, like I said, same thing as GFS, probably mountainous, flooding here. The mountains are going to rush that water down to the surface and probably going to create so many problems here for you guys in Mexico. All right. So here we are at the 12Z H-Wharf here, and as you can see, we're looking at 997 millibars, which is at 15Z. We're going to take a sounding here. We are looking at 10 knots of shear and 89% relative humidity, which is pretty good. 24 hours out. As you can see, this is deep rapid intensification. We are down 960 millibars here. So this H-Wharf is not messing around. But the shear is not very good either. It's at 18 knots. Relative humidity is 89%. So here's 48 hours. It maintains its strength for the most part. And we're looking at 8 knots of shear and 90% relative humidity. So right now, just besides that one point, H-Wharf seems to be a-okay with rapid intensification purposes. And as you can see, we peak here at 948 millibars. And that's a pretty decent tropical, cyclone there. But it makes landfall here in about 64 hours, which is way too slow now at this current point in time. So we're gonna have to see how the 18Z H-Wharf, makes up for that quicker landfall or slower landfall rate here. I forgot if we could check total accumulations. We cannot. So with that being said, the people of Mexico, really needs to really pay attention to the system as we head through the next 48 hours. You guys only have 2 days to get ready for the storm. You know, if this was, say, yesterday, you probably would have had an extra 36. Well, this morning even, you probably would have had an extra, 24 hours to get ready. But now you only got about 48 hours. So, you know, like I said before, look out for storm surge, look out for very heavy flooding rains, look out for the wind, and look out for everything else that comes with a Category 2, Category 3 hurricane as it comes barreling down on your guys' front door. I wish it didn't have to do that, but Mother Nature calls. She got to do her thing, which is unfortunate because nobody wants a hurricane to hit their town or their state or their city or their country or their continent. It just ruins a whole lot of things for a lot of people. So with that being said, please be weather aware. I will definitely be keeping you guys updated with another video tomorrow. I might do two updates tomorrow, actually, one in the morning and one in the afternoon, and I'll just keep you guys as ahead of the storm as I possibly can. Anyways, you guys take care, and I'll see you guys again in the morning.